Hey everybody. Hey 71 in Texas. Um I do apologize that this is the first stream that I've done all week. Been kind of wiped out. Uh Job's going good. I'm learning a lot of stuff. But as most people know, when you start a new job, sometimes it's just a little bit kind of wears you out. Um No, I'll straighten that up a little bit. The camera was a little bit askew, but 71 actually I'm not, I've been feeling pretty good for the most part. I think it's just starting a new job and trying to absorb so much and trying to put my best foot forward. I think I'm just kind of wearing myself out because I was telling my mom the other day when I talked to her on the phone, I said, like, and I used to get this when I was a little younger too. I've always been kind of like, always said I was kind of like a weak kid. Like some kids could stay up all night and still be okay the next day. But if I would do that, like, let's say one of my friends had a slumber party. And I went over there and we stayed up freaking all night watching movies and whatnot. The other girls would be just bouncing off the walls the next day. I would have to go home and take a nap. So I've always been like that. So I guess it's technically it's normal for me. um, so with the job, I've been, like I said, just trying to put my best foot forward, and maybe I'm spreading myself a little thin, but I always do that because I'm not trying to show anybody else up. I just want to say to my boss or my supervisor or whatever, hey, I'm trying to give you 110%, just, you guys understand that, I'm sure. So I was telling my mom that I was getting that, like, where my throat would be sore on one side, and like I said, I used to get this when I was a kid, when I had overextended myself, like staying up too late, but I haven't been staying up too late, actually, like this week especially. I've been going out of it quite early, which is a little aggravating because I got a few new movies in. I got like the 4K of Black Christmas. I got the 4K of Carrie. Um, let's see, got the 4K of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Um, the 4K of A Christmas Story and Home Alone as well. So I got quite a few 4Ks in that I've been wanting to watch, and invariably I end up going to sleep uh, just about every night. Um, 71, you say, well, you don't have to apologize. Just glad the job was going good. Yeah, I don't know if I told you guys this, but we had like a all hands holiday meeting. And we had like I may have told y'all this already. Just bear with me if I did. Um, but we had two Christmassy type of quizzes, and they primarily, at least one of them, focused a lot on movies, Christmas movies, and if you won from the first quiz, they gave like three prizes for each quiz. Um, if you won from the first quiz, you couldn't win on the second quiz. You could play, but you couldn't win a second time. So the first quiz I didn't win on, but the second quiz I won. And so, like I said, they had three prizes, and the girl that was heading this up, like, said they're A, B, and C, but you don't know which one's A and which one's B and which one's C, and so on and so forth. So you just picked a letter. So I think I picked B, and I won a Cinemark $25 gift card. So there is a Cinemark, or there are Cinemark theaters here in Louisville. So I guess me and Steve will be going to see at least one movie with that $25 gift card. 70, when you say, I will be right back. My salad's been out for a while because of the storm, and I have to check to see if the dish fell off the roof. Oh, be careful. Yeah, Texas says be careful as well. Yes, definitely. I hope there's no serial killer out there with an axe. Um, but hopefully 71 will be back here in just a little bit. Um, I don't know how many we're gonna have for this because, like I said, I haven't real. This is the first stream that I've done all week, and so people might be out of practice. I mean, there at one time I was doing a stream just about every night. Um, Texas, you say Cinemark, where you can be a mark at the cinema. Exactly. Now me and Steve just got to agree on what movie to go see with this card. So, but I mean, I might surprise y'all tomorrow. I'm only the good thing about this job is that if I work 9 hours a day, um, I can take half a day off on Fridays. So I've got 36 hours in, or a little bit over 36 hours in. So I can work a few hours tomorrow and be off the rest of the day. So I'm really, looking forward to that. Plus, tomorrow is payday. So I'm extra looking forward to that. I'm actually going to be having some more money come in and feel like I can be a more productive part of our family again. This not having money was killing me in more ways than one. I mean, I didn't feel like I was a useful part of the family, at least financially. uh, I couldn't get a lot of things I wanted. I'm delayed getting Christmas gifts, and I'm actually going to make a very large, probably, Christmas shopping trip on Saturday. Steve's basically, because he's not, like most guys are. He's not a big shopper. He doesn't want to walk around the store and stuff like that. So he's going to drop me off at Walmart on Saturday, and I'm going to do my shopping. And then when I get done, I'm going to text him, say, "Hey, I'm done. Can you come and get me?" So we kind of decided over time that that's a better option than Steve having to come in there with me and like aggravate me because he's wanting to go, and then getting mad at me and hurting my feelings because he didn't get to leave when he wanted to. He didn't want to waste his whole Saturday in the store and all that. I mean, I'm not planning on spending the whole entire Saturday there because I do want to come home and cook some fudge and some cookies and all of that good stuff for Christmas. I'm really looking forward to that. Um, and also doing some Christmas shopping. I'm actually going to order Steve's tomorrow, uh, probably when I get off from work because I'll have some time, um, and order it from Amazon so that, we've got Prime, so I can make sure it gets here by Christmas time. Texas, you said the dogs need to get jobs. Yeah, I'm not so sure how that will work out. Uh, but so things right now seem on the up and up. Also, I was really pleased, especially being one of the new kids um, on the help desk, that one of the directors of one of the Smile Doctors clinics actually sent an email to me and CC'd my supervisor, um, and the manager over the help desk. Um, to say how what a good job I did getting them all fixed up with a browser that would work with some of the software that they had, uh, and and she said that I was friendly and fun as I was doing that. And my supervisor said, "Well done." So that made me feel good. There was also another girl that didn't send an email to everybody, but she did send an email to me, telling me how much she appreciated me getting her on the VPN and taking care of some stuff that she needed to do her job. So that made me feel really good. So those were pluses for today. Um, hey, Blissful, I'm just on here blabbing before we get started with the movies. Um, like I said a little bit earlier, I'm not sure how many people we're going to have in here. It might be that people aren't interested in these two particular De Palma movies that I'm covering tonight, or it could be because I haven't been doing regular streams like I was, and some people kind of got out of practice as far as me doing them. Um, awesome, 71. You say I am back. All is okay. So, I do want to remind everybody before we get started with this week's My Dinner with De Palma that I will be doing a Christmas Evil watch along on Saturday, starting at, gosh, I think this one is going to have to start a little bit later because I think Steve's doing his I want to say he's doing his watch along. And mine will probably not be until 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope that's okay with everybody. Um, oh, wow. You're getting I mean, you're not kidding, Blissful. You're getting a lot of snow. Man, I wish we were getting snow. All we've been getting lately is rain. 71, you say you had to take a cane outside as a weapon. So, anyway, I'm going to be doing the Christmas Evil watch along on Saturday. So if anybody is interested in being live on that watch along with me, audio only is fine. Just I will put the link to both the movie, which I don't think I've looked up to see if I can find the movie, but I will do that. Um, So I will put both the link to the movie and also a link to the StreamYard link. So if there's any of you that come in here at any point in time, I mean, you don't have to start at the beginning of the movie. I mean, we can get, if you come in later and you decide you want to be live on the stream with me, we can get you up to speed. We can give you a timestamp and you'll be good to go. So, just keep that in mind. And I'm thinking that I had planned to do it this week and I forgot. So next Monday, I am planning on finishing up my favorite Christmas horror films. Um, so if anybody is interested in coming in live with me on the stream for that one, again, audio only is fine. Um, then I will again have a StreamYard link in the chat where you can click on it and go backstage, and I will add you. So um, that people don't just have to hear me blab away about things. So you can feel free to come on and talk about some of your favorite Christmas horror films. Texas, you say Blissful and I have Christmas Evil and Black Christmas lined up. Awesome. Two very awesome Christmas horror movies. Uh, okay. So we got four in here. Um, oh, so Blissful, you say you've never seen either of them, so you're excited. Well, you are in for a treat, Blissful, and I would love to hear what you think about them after you see both of those. Um, so we got four in here. I think now's as good time as any to get started with the movies. Um, 71, you say you never saw Christmas Evil. Oh man, I think you're in for a treat too, 71. Or I hope so anyway. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with the movies for tonight, which neither of these movies had I seen before. I owned The Untouchables on DVD, and I guess I just never either I don't remember watching it because it's been that long ago, or I bought it and never got around to watching it. Um, that's the second movie I'm going to talk about. But the first movie I had not seen either, which was a movie from 1986 that Brian De Palma directed called Wise Guys, starring Danny DeVito and Joe Piscopo. Um, so that's the one we're going to start with. And I don't know how many of you are participating in the dinner portion, but my pick is a Subway sandwich. You can see I've already started taking bites out of it because I couldn't help myself. I was feeling a little hungry. This is a spicy Italian. I wasn't going to go whole hog and do a big plate of pasta or anything like that because I thought that would be too much for a snack. So I decided to get a 6-inch sub from Subway and some Doritos. And I got two cookies. I ate one earlier, but the other one I have is a double fudge cookie. Doesn't that look good? Um, so, um, anyway, that's what I'm having for my dinner portion. I hope that some people are able to participate in these dinner portions. Again, it's not a requirement. It's just something that when TJ mentioned bring the dinner with you next time, I thought that's a really cool idea. And again, I must give TJ credit for that. Uh, yes, Texas Christmas Evil is John Waters' favorite Christmas movie. I think didn't John Waters do one of the commentaries with the director of Christmas Evil? I thought he did. That's what you say. I'm finally getting people to help me get to the post office and food shopping. Yeah, those are two things that are very important, especially this time of year for the post office. Blissful, you say I absolutely love Wise Guys. Well, I love Wise Guys now. Like I said, I don't. This one was another one that sadly slipped under my radar. But here, going through these De Palma films, this actually gives me a chance to go back and watch things that I have never watched before. 71, you said that sandwich looks good. Actually, it is very good. I love spicy Italian sandwiches from Subway. So I hope you guys don't mind if I partake of my food as I'm talking about these movies. Texas, you're having Chef Boyardee? Awesome. Ooh, overstuffed ravioli sounds good too, 71. Okay, so I was right about John Waters doing the commentary with the director. Wasn't the director Lewis Jackson? Wasn't that the guy's name that did Christmas Evil? Actually, you just missed my incessant babbling that I do at the beginning of all these streams. So you didn't miss the meat of this stream, which is where I'm going to be covering Wise Guys and the Untouchables tonight. So, um, no, I think Scarface is one of the pinnacles of De Palma's career, in my opinion, and the way that John and I talked about it last time, you can tell that we're both fans of this movie, as a lot of other people are as well. You saw some pepperoni there? Yeah, this actually has, I believe, pepperoni and salami, and then I get lettuce and tomatoes on it, and the chipotle sauce. Texas, you're not a fan of the Untouchables? I liked it, but there were some things that kind of made me mad with it. But I'll get to that here in just a little bit. You say you believe Lewis Jackson was the director of that? Yeah, Scarface is definitely banger. X-Ray, I agree. X-Ray, you said there was a Scarface video game years ago. It was a what if sequel if Tony Montana survived the final gun battle of the movie. Awesome. Did you play it, X-Ray? Did you get a chance to play it? And guys, so sorry that well, I'm sorry, not sorry, because this does have these streams do have a dinner portion to them. So, and I'm starving. So I'm going to be eating as I talk about these movies. So, the first movie, like I said, is Wise Guys from 1986, starring Danny DeVito and Joe Piscopo. Um, Harvey Keitel, a very young Harvey Keitel, is also in this movie as I believe the name is it Bobby D. I think they refer to him as. Um, Make sure you say, "Nah, I didn't get to play it. Kind of regret it. Looked interesting." Yeah, I wish I had gotten to play it. You say, Dana, you enjoy, and 71 says, "There's no need to be sorry." Okay. Anyway, so the basic story of Wise Guys is there's these two kind of like regular Joes. That's Danny DeVito and Joe Piscopo's character of Harry and Mo. Um, and Harry is pretty much an Italian guy, and Mo is Jewish. And there's a lot of jokes in there that probably wouldn't get pulled off now nowadays because people get so butthurt over every little tiny thing. Um, but back in 1986, I would say it was probably okay to make Jewish jokes, to maybe make Italian jokes. Basically, during that time period, it was probably okay to joke about just about anything. But so they're kind of like your average Joes, except that they work for mob guys, gangster like guys. And Dan Hedaya plays like the main gangster mob type of guy. And he's the guy basically with all the power. And then he has all these guys underneath him that he kind of sends out to do his bidding. If he wants to off somebody, he will, send out the fixer, who's a rather large man who will take somebody out if he needs to. But this may sound like it's a gonna be a more serious movie when I start out talking about it, but a lot of the movie is comedic. Um, and actually, Wise Guys and the Untouchables are, in my opinion, polar opposites of each other. Um, because this Wise Guys has a lot of comedy up front. I mean, you've got Danny DeVito in there, so I mean, Danny DeVito has played serious roles in his career, but he's also played a lot of comedic roles. I feel like he's played more comedic roles than he has serious roles. Um, yeah, X-Ray Dan Hedaya is great at playing sleazeballs, and when I saw the name come up in the opening credits, and and then actually saw him, I was like, oh yeah, that is the guy that was on an episode of, I believe, the Twilight Zone from the 80s, called Dealer's Choice, where Dana Daya basically plays the devil, and he sneaks in to these guys' card game with the intention of taking one of the guys to hell with him, or taking them. When he goes back to hell, he's taking one of their souls. Um, and although this role isn't really sleazy in the Twilight Zone episode, um, he does play a kind of slightly comedic but unsavory character. It's a really good episode, though, too. Tex, did you say you remember that episode? Yeah, that's one of my favorites from the Twilight Zone from the 80s. It also has Morgan Freeman in it, a young Morgan Freeman in that episode. So Harry and Mo, like I said, they're average Joes. They don't have a lot of money. They're basically working for these sleazeball guys that could off them at any point in time, any second. They kind of get made fun of and bullied by um, Dan Hedaya's underlings. And so not only is Harry, Danny DeVito's character, a little downtrodden and stuff like that, he always manages to dream big, but he's not real good at gambling. And so they are given their basically, Mo is given the boss's money, or some of the boss's money, in order to place a bet on a racehorse. Unfortunately, Harry gets the big idea that they're not going to bet on the horse that the boss told them to bet on. They're going to bet on another horse, and they lose. And they lose the boss's money. And the boss is not happy. And so he sets up a thing where he divides Harry and Mo up, and they each tell uh the other guy that if you kill your partner, we'll let you off the hook, you know. But not to trust these guys. These guys are utter sleazeballs. So I'm gonna block 69 triple X site there. There we go. So Harry gets the big idea that they're going to go to Atlantic City and they're going to visit his Uncle Mike, because evidently Dan Hedaya's character has deep respect for Harry's Uncle Mike. He probably would have killed Harry off if it wasn't for his Uncle Mike. So evidently Harry hasn't visited his family. He hasn't visited his aunt and his uncle and his grandma and all that in a long time. But he decides to run off to Atlantic City where his uncle Mike is at. And he calls his aunt beforehand, and she hangs up on him. but he doesn't tell Mo that that's happened. He just lets him think that, yeah, it's okay. We're going to go to Atlantic City. Uncle Mike's going to help us out. He's going to get us out of this jam. Everything will be cool. When they get there, Harry keeps looking around for his Uncle Mike, and Uncle Mike is nowhere to be seen. So he finally asked his grandma, "Is Uncle Mike around?" And she's like, "Yeah, he's upstairs." So he goes upstairs. Uncle Mike's upstairs, all right, but Uncle Mike is dead, and all that's there is an urn with Uncle Mike's ashes on the mantle, the fireplace mantle, and evidently Uncle Mike died the year before. And I guess nobody thought to tell Harry. So Harry's kind of in a panic, and then Mo's in a panic. They don't really know what to do. Um, because they have stolen the fixer's car, his pink Cadillac, and they messed it all up. They stole the fixer's credit card and, bought a bunch of stuff. They bought swanky clothes and jewelry and stuff. They basically maxed out the credit card. And now, to top it all off, all these bad guys are coming after them. They're coming to Atlantic City because they figured out where they're at. Well, Harry kind of has one last thing he can try, or there's one last person he can ask for help in Atlantic City, and that's Bobby D, played by Harvey Keitel, who owns his own casino and hotel, or like a resort type of thing. And he agrees to help them out. And they set up an elaborate thing where it looks like Mo kills Harry, but it's all a setup. Even down to having a fake doctor and all of that. And Bobby D has set all this up. But Mo doesn't realize that Harry's not really dead. I mean, they have a funeral and everything. They bury an empty coffin. And Harry's so distraught. Mo's so distraught that he goes back home and he's going to hang himself. Well, he's, got the noose around his neck and everything. He's just about ready to fall off the banister. And he thinks, I guess, that he's hallucinating, that he's seeing his dead friend. But it's really Harry. And Harry manages to keep Mo from hanging himself and explains the whole thing to him, and then explains what they're going to do to make it look like Mo has died in his house from turning on the gas and the rest of that. So what ends up happening actually is all the bad guys end up going into Mo's house, and the gas has filled up the house. And at that point in time, the main bad guy, played by Dan Hedaya, he puts a cigarette in his mouth, and all his buddies or all his underlings go to light it. Right about that time, you see Dan Hedaya's eyes get real wide. He's like, "Oh," he must be thinking, "Oh shit, I'm about to die." And at that point, everything explodes. So Harry and Mo manage to get away scot free with their lives. Their families are okay, and they finally get to open up their own casino or their own resort called Harry and Mo's, I think. So I I thought this was a fun little movie. Again, I don't know how it slipped under my radar for all these years. Um, I know that Brian De Palma is really good at doing comedies. He's really good at doing thrillers. He's really good at doing horror movies. I mean, it's like I said when John was on here. Brian De Palma is a chameleon director to me. You cannot pin the man down and say that he's one type of director just because of the enormous output he has produced over the years. Guys, I'm going to step away for just 1 second because Brandon's starting to bark and he's going to drive Steve crazy. Um, but I will be right back. Brandon. Go sit down. I don't know. I thought Brandon was up and maybe he couldn't. He has, like I always say, he has those mobility problems, and I thought he was down on the floor and couldn't get up. He's in his freaking bed. So I don't know why he's barking. And then I forgot I had the little heater going back here and I tripped over it when I turned around. So please excuse me. Oh my God. All right, guys. I guess I'm going to have to get him and bring him in here. Sorry about that. Dang it, Red. Get out of there. Get out of there, Darcy. Sammy, get over here. So sorry, guys. This is just a nightmare tonight. I'm probably going to have to go out there and get Reggie. And Reggie almost ate my sandwich. Y'all probably saw him get up here. I forgot my sandwich was sitting right here. Oh, jeez Louise. So, guys, let me just, I hate that this is ruining my live stream, but this is what happens every time. I am so sorry. I am going to put this in the microwave and I'm going to go try to get those dogs in. Come on, Brandon. Get in here. Sammy. Reggie. Now, Brandon, you're going to stay back here with me, understand? You're not going to wake Daddy up. He'll be mad at me. I ain't got to do a stream. Oh, wait. And I try to do it, y'all are just causing trouble. Get up, Brandon. Brandon, please. Get out there. Come on, horse, get in here. Reggie, get your ass in here. Now. Come on, Sandy. Y'all succeeded in causing too much trouble. How much you got to do? Go sit. Go sit. There. Come on. Brandon, you're going to stay back here with me. Reg, no. I assume Wes is laughing at me. I may have to edit this video because it was just, I almost lost my sandwich that I was looking forward to eating. I may have to do some editing to this video because of the insanity that just went on. Evidently, Dead Pit must have did a great stream last night. Sorry I missed out on it, Wes. So, anyway, moving on to the second movie after all that mess. I'm trying, Uncle Bill. I'm really trying. It's good to see you and CK in here. But that was just like insane. I was cussing and carrying on. Like I said, I might have to edit this video, but please don't. Please don't, Wes. Don't screen grab the insanity. No. there was so much that happened in that space of about 5 or 10 minutes. Brandon was barking, and then I had to go get him because if Steve gets woken up by Brandon barking, I'm going to get the brunt of it. I mean, I don't want him to yell at Brandon, but um, I haven't done a stream all week long, and I go to do one, and it's just like all hell breaks loose around here all at one time. So I was going to bring Brandon back here with me so they wouldn't be barking and bothering Steve. And every one of the other dogs was standing there waiting to go out except for Brink. And so they just, when I opened the gate between the living room and the kitchen, they just all flooded in. And then I forgot I had my sandwich back here, my Subway sandwich that I've been looking forward to eating. Reggie almost ate it. And when I was going to get Brandon, I tripped over my little heater in here. So I guess that probably got a laugh too. And then that crazy dog next door that barks viciously at all my dogs and gets them started, especially Reggie. So I had to go out and get Reggie. So just complete insanity around here. Yeah, puppy's gone wild. What she said, all Steve will do is wake up and yell, "Shut up." No, what he'll do is what he did the other night and gripe at me over it, and then claim he doesn't remember saying that stuff the next day. 71, you say I have insanity every day. You aren't even close to that level, lol. Well, I don't care what Reggie said. That's my sandwich. And by God, I'm going to eat it too. So, now that things have calmed down a little bit around here, I'm going to get back to the second movie, which is The Untouchables. And although I thought it was a very well made movie, and I think the Palma did a great job with it, for me on a personal level, there were a couple of things that kind of made me angry, and maybe that's what Brian De Palma was going for. Maybe he wanted it to be an emotionally charged movie. So the basic story of The Untouchables is Elliot Ness versus Al Capone. That's your basic story. Again, we're dealing with a lot of gangland type of activity, murders, power, greed, all that stuff. So it's supposed to be 1930s Chicago, and prohibition's big at that point in time. And there were a couple of, excuse my language, but there were a couple of like 2 or 3 what the fuck moments in this. Because it's something that one of these things is something that you don't see even in films today too much. Because there's a scene where a little girl goes into it's not really a bar. I'm guessing it's like a restaurant. And I'm not exactly sure what the proprietor of this restaurant gives her, but he puts something in a little dish that the girl has, or a little container. And he asked about her mother, and she says her mother's okay, but she's got a cold. And meanwhile, there's a guy sitting on a stool and he's got a suitcase or a bag beside him. And he just gets up and leaves this suitcase or whatever you want to call it there on the stool that was beside him. And the little girl, bless her heart, she's trying to be helpful. She's like, Mister. And I had a funny feeling that something bad was going to happen when this little girl picks up this suitcase. And it does. And it's not like De Palma shows us every gory detail, but you know what happened to that little girl within the context of this film because the whole building just basically explodes. And you know that there was some kind of bomb in that suitcase. And that little girl is now dead. And I was like, whoa, what the hell? I mean, it was like I knew something was going to happen, but I wasn't quite ready for that. So we slowly find out that Al Capone and his gang are responsible for all of this. And he, basically Al Capone, played expertly, I think, by Robert De Niro, basically tries to tell people, I'm not a bad guy. There's no violence going on here. When we all know, yeah, there is. There's another what the fuck scene when, I mean, you know that Capone is an evil, evil man. But he's got all these guys sitting around the table eating, I guess, an elaborate meal. And I guess they've gotten to the dessert portion. And he makes some kind of comment and some guy chimes in. And he takes a ball bat and just beats this guy to death at the table with this ball bat in front of all these other guys. And they're just like, So, Elliot Ness, played by Kevin Costner. I think this was Kevin Costner did a really, really good job with this role. Elliot Ness is evidently a family man. He and his wife have a little girl, and his wife is pregnant with another baby. And he talks a lot during the movie about how wonderful it is to be married, and his wife puts little notes in his lunch bag that tells him how that says basically, I'm so proud of you. And he's really wants to put his best foot forward with this new job with the Treasury Department. And he wants to be able to stop Al Capone, and the death of the little girl near the beginning of the film is probably the instigator in him really wanting to push forward with this and get Al Capone. But it's not quite as easy as you might think to get this guy. First, you got to figure out how to get him and not get yourself killed, because he does not do the killing, as we saw even in the Wise Guys movie. Brandon Lee, come on, get out of there. That they usually have their underlings, their cronies, whoever do the dirty work. And they stay clean, so to speak, while somebody else gets blood on their hands. So Al Capone has a lot of evil guys, especially the one main guy that does a lot of the really heinous things. Who I think had the suitcase that blew up the little girl and all of that. So Basically, Elliot Ness, after a couple of missteps, and he's afraid, he kind of fears a little bit that he's going to be the laughing stock, because the newspapers at first are kind of making fun of him, uh, making a joke out of him, making a joke out of his operation, and all of that. But then he decides, after having a chance encounter with a beat cop played by Sean Connery, he plays the beat cop Malone. And Sean Connery is excellent in this movie. I mean, Sean Connery is usually excellent in anything he's in my opinion. Um, but he meets Malone, and Malone's kind of rough around the edges, kind of gives Elliot Ness a hard time at first. But then they become friends, and they decide to go into a partnership together in order to get Al Capone and put him behind bars. Um, so they need to get maybe a couple other guys to help them. So they get this guy, Oscar, played by Charles Martin Smith, who I really like this character too. I like so many of like the quote unquote good guys in this movie. But they get Oscar, who's pretty much just like an accountant type of guy, really unassuming and all of that. Doesn't look like he could do anything forceful to stop anybody, especially somebody of the stature of Al Capone. But he held his own, as we see throughout the majority of the movie. Brandon, please be quiet. If he starts barking again, I may have to go and tend to him, but I'm hoping that he will lay down. I give him his sleep medicine, and now he doesn't even sleep half the time. I made the mistake of telling Steve that I thought that our fruit fly problem was maybe going away, and now they're dang if they ain't swarming back here again. They're trying to get my sandwich, I know, but Brandon, hold on a minute, everybody. Brandon, I'm gonna get you up. Now go in there and lay down. Okay, so and then they get another guy who wants to be a cop, played by Andy Garcia, who plays Giuseppe, I think is his name. Bliss, you said my dog has been anxious all day. I think it was a storm coming in. Could be. I think that dogs do sense a lot of stuff that maybe we don't. They sense it before we do. So anyway, they get together. All of them have guns. But here's the thing. I mean, the little girl getting killed near the beginning was very shocking and sad. But if you haven't seen this movie, you might want to plug your ears or walk away or something while I tell a couple of scenes in this movie, because I don't want to, give it away to somebody that hasn't seen it and that might be considering watching it. So, give you a few seconds. Okay. So, but what really pissed me off is first they killed Oscar off. The bad guys got Oscar. And I mean, it was really, I mean, these were gangland style murders, so it was pretty gruesome. And it was one of those things where Brian De Palma made good use or bad use, whichever way you want to look at it, of an elevator, because that an elevator is where Oscar was killed. And in his blood was written the Untouchables on the inside of the elevator. So that was pretty gruesome. And then they basically hung Oscar's dead body up so that Elliot Ness and Malone could find him. But Brandon is laying down now. So the second death that pissed me off was Malone's death. And Malone's death was even more gruesome, in my opinion, than Oscar's death. So they basically blow Malone full of holes. And he was still alive. He lived long enough to give Elliot Ness a key component to help put Al Capone behind bars. Hold on, guys. I hate to say this, but I think Brandon had an accident now. Brandon Lee. Just come in from outside door. You're just talking about how good you was doing. Brandon, I've never get done with this stream. You had to do it there. It's nasty everywhere. Gosh, getting all over it. I've had it tonight. I've absolutely had it. Don't understand, y'all. Just don't. I know you're over. I know. Jesus. It's gonna have to stop. Cords and everything else. Did you have a bad night last night, Wes? I mean, this is the worst the dogs have ever been, I think, when at least when I'm trying to do a stream. I don't know what has gotten into them. I mean, I thought I was going to have a nice, relaxing stream and enjoying doing this because I hadn't done one in a while and all that. And it's just been one catastrophe after the other. I just don't get it. But anyway. But anyways. Anyway, back to the Untouchables. I just lost my whole train of thought there. But I think it was Texas that said he wasn't really a fan of the Untouchables. But I actually enjoyed it. Other than, I was kind of pissed that they killed both Oscar and Malone off in the movie. But ultimately, good won over evil. And although within the movie Al Capone went away for 11 years, supposedly, I didn't think that was long enough for this dude. But, it was enough to make me glad that I was not alive during that time period. Because that, especially if you were in a big city like Chicago, that was definitely a very dangerous time to be in these areas with all this, I guess, organized crime. Yeah, well, I could definitely see that. I have not really read up on Al Capone or Elliot Ness, or really haven't read up on the prohibition in the 30s and all that. So, yeah, so for me, I wasn't looking at it in that respect, and maybe that's why I enjoyed it more. I was just seeing it as more of a movie. Probably if I had known all the historical stuff behind it, I probably wouldn't have liked it as well either. 71, you say I doubt it was accurate. Movies sell better with lies. That is true. That is true, 71. But okay, so basically, I mean, I went on about an hour and 12 minutes, or a little over an hour and 12 minutes. I haven't finished my sandwich up yet, but with all these interruptions, I'm glad it wasn't a hot sandwich because it would definitely be cold by now. Um, and I was hoping to get some good sleep tonight, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. But the way Brandon is doing, even though I'm only going to have to work. Brandon, leave. I hit my microphone. I swear. Um, even though I'm only going to have to work for 4 hours tomorrow, you still want to get your sleep. I'm tired of getting. Oh, it looks like my hat's crooked again. Oh, jeez. What else is going to go wrong tonight? But I guess it'll just have to be crooked if it is crooked. Um, but all in all, I would like to get some nice sleep tonight. And I'm afraid it's going to be a horrible night because I don't understand. When Brandon first started taking this trazodone, he would sleep. now he tries to fight the medicine. And I don't know if it's part of the dementia or what that is causing him to do that. One night I never going to lay down. He was up every hour, every couple of hours, just pacing, just like you guys are probably seeing him pace behind me now. Blitz, will you say, Dana, you've made me want to rewatch? Well, good. That's one of the things that I hope that it will either make people or make people consider maybe rewatching it again, especially for those of it that didn't care much for one of the particular movies the first time around. But or the other option is if you've never seen it, like I hadn't watched either of these two films I talked about tonight before, you're preparing for this. It's like refreshing to find these movies and say, hey, that movie was pretty good. You know, De Palma did a good job with this. Another movie I'm going to be talking about a little bit later is Carlito's Way, and I've never seen that one either. So I think I'm going to just refresh my memory here on the two movies that I'm going to be covering next Thursday. Just bear with me just a second. Because I really had a lot of fun doing these My Dinner with De Palma streams. Like I said, it gives me an excuse to watch movies that I didn't watch before. The world. I don't know what happened there. I was just wanting to look at the things he's directed. I hate what they've done to IMDb. There we go. All right. So the next two movies is going to be Casualties of War, which I have seen, but it's been a while, and The Bonfire of the Vanities, which I don't believe I've ever seen. So, Casualties of War is from '89. Bonfire of the Vanities is from 1990. And I'm surprised that I have not seen Bonfire of the Vanities because it has Tom Hanks in it, and I love Tom Hanks. I watch usually everything he's in. And not only does it have Tom Hanks, but it has Bruce Willis and Melanie Griffith in it as well. So, so that is the two movies I'm going to be covering next Thursday. Yeah, 71. Sadly, you know, that could be the case that he might be getting worse. I was hoping this Anapril was helping him. Because in some ways he seems better. And in some ways he seems worse. Yes, I do need to sleep to get my job done. And you say, I can't remember the last time I've had a nice sleep. Well, you know, a lot of the nights this week, I have gotten good sleep. But it's just like, I think Brandon mainly has got his days and nights mixed up. He's like a baby. He sleeps most of the day away and then he can't sleep at night. And he just does this pacing thing. Well, of course, that's part of the dementia as well. I kind of enjoyed my sandwich. It was good there at first, and then I thought Reggie was going to eat it. I thought I wasn't going to get to have it. Um, but anyway, we had 7 in here at one point. Like I said, people probably thought, maybe Daniel's quit doing these, and everybody, kind of tuned out for a little bit. Also, it's getting close to the holidays. It's getting close to Christmas. Um, People are busier doing other things, so I totally get that as well. Brandon. Oh my gosh, yes, 71. I've had dreams like that, or nightmares, I should say. Um, Usually I don't get killed in them, but somebody's usually chasing me or chasing me and a family member, with a knife or something. Uh, yeah, I've woke up many a night being really afraid because I've come out of one of those nightmares. But guys, I think I'm gonna get off of here in just a second, but I do want to remind everybody again that I will be doing a watch along for Christmas Evil this Saturday, probably at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Because, like I said, I believe Steve is doing his own watch along, and he said he'll probably be on till around 8ish Eastern time. So, um, I will, of course, have to, because we live in the same household, I'm going to have to wait until he gets done with his to start mine. So, probably be around 8 p.m. Eastern time. So, you guys can look forward to that. As I always say, if you want to join me live on the stream for that, you can be audio only if you wish. I will be putting the link to not only the movie, but also the StreamYard link for anybody that wants to join me live. Um, and my other plan is on Monday, this coming Monday, to do the second part of my my favorite Christmas horror films. It'll be part 2 of this one. And I don't know. I may do something tomorrow night. I'm not sure. It depends on how things go, how tired I am. I'm hoping I'm not too tired because I'm going to get half the day off. So I get to end my work day early tomorrow. Um, Brandon's being very distracting because he just keeps walking back and forth. Sometimes I think he just gets unsettled because I'm not in the living room sitting down. The arm of my chair is like super loose. I may need to tighten that sucker up or something. But anyway, you guys aren't interested in that. Great, 71. I'm hoping we have several people in the watch along. You say you've never seen Christmas Evil? Well, I'm not 100% sure, but I think you're going to like it, 71. At least I hope you do. Brandon. Guys, I don't want y'all to think I'm a mean mama. I try to be so patient with him. But the hearing the scuffing back there and the whining and stuff over and over again, after a while, it gets on your nerves. And I know we can't help it. But I just am at the end of my rope with all this stuff. And there's so much stuff that went on tonight, just in this little space of time, a little over an hour that I've been doing this stream. And like I said, I'm a little embarrassed that all this stuff went on. And it makes me want to go back and edit this stream before anybody that wasn't in here to see it live, goes back and watches it. So, oh, jeez. But anyway, um, so hopefully in the new year, when I get more in tune with my new job and stuff, maybe I won't be so tired and I can do some more live streams in the new year. That is my hope anyway. Um, but I want to thank everybody for being in here tonight. Like I said, we had about seven at one time. Sorry, guys, I just keep getting distracted by him. Um, so that was a pretty good crowd that we had in here, and I hope that everybody that was in here the whole time enjoyed hearing me talk about Wise Guys and the Untouchables. And I'm hoping maybe it encouraged people that hadn't seen either of these movies or maybe didn't like one of the movies the first time around, and encourages you to go back and give it another try, or any of those things. 71, you say don't edit it. I probably I probably won't because I'm lazy that way. I probably won't. But like I said, I am a little embarrassed. I mean, for anybody that saw me trip over that heater when I turned around just because I forgot, I'm sorry. I am a klutz. um, I'm a klutz anyway. But then I was so distracted by the dogs and stuff, and I didn't want Brandon barking, waking Steve up. Um, and so I just had my mind on that, and I just turned around real fast, forgetting how close that heater was to me. And oh, jeez. But anyway, on that note, guys, now we dropped down to three, so people were probably getting bored with my rambling. So on that note, I am going to skedaddle on out of here for the night, and I will see everyone on the flip side. Y'all have a good night now.